Has a major WWE Backlash surprise just been leaked? This top AEW star is ready to return to the ring, and a former world champion has signed a brand new WWE contract. But first, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the latest pro wrestling news. But first, several upcoming WWE releases have been confirmed. In April, 7 names would be cut from their WWE contracts, with Jinder Mahal, Cameron Grimes, Von Wagner, Veer Mahan, Sangha, Xia Li, and Zion Quinn all finding themselves on the free agency market once their non-compete clauses expire. Following the WWE draft earlier this week, it seems that WWE are not yet done with their roster trimmings, with more names set to be cut thanks to information from Corey Brennan of Fightful Select. Whilst the names that have been let go have not yet been confirmed as of this recording, we do know that the Performance Center was closed today due to impending cuts, with NXT talents set to be on the chopping block. We'll of course keep you updated of any cuts that went down in tomorrow's news video, so be sure to stay tuned to that. And before we get to our next story, let me just quickly mention I'm starting to test out some more list style videos, potentially making it a weekly feature depending on the success. So earlier today I uploaded 10 wrestlers we'll never see again in WWE or AEW, including the likes of Marty Scurll and Brock Lesnar, so be sure to check that out after this video and drop a like on it for more upcoming list content. But let's start by taking a look at the latest AEW departure to be confirmed. 2024 has seen several All Elite Wrestling contracts come to an end, as well as some releases from the company, resulting in the likes of Matt Hardy and Mike Santana announcing their departures. We can now seemingly add another name to that list, as one more wrestler has parted ways with the company, news that broke after a change to the official AEW roster page. Last night, eagle-eyed fans would notice that the profile of Ethan Page had disappeared from the All Elite Wrestling website, sparking speculation that he had left the company, with this often being the first sign that somebody had left over the years. This speculation would then be followed up by a report from Fightful Select, who spoke with sources within AEW to confirm if the story was true or not, and here's what they had to say. Word within AEW and other companies was that Page is no longer with AEW, or that his departure is a formality. Sources Fightful Select have spoken with said that Page was looking to leave AEW as far back as February. He was slated for an ROH TV title feud before visa issues with Kyle Fletcher briefly delayed them. Fightful would confirm that whilst they have reached out to Ethan directly for an official comment, they've yet to hear back, with the information being sourced from others within AEW. It appears that Page has or is set to enter free agency for the first time since early 2021, where he would leave Impact Wrestling in favour of signing for AEW in March of that year, debuting as a mystery entrant in the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Whilst his future remains unclear, Ethan will likely draw interest from the likes of WWE and TNA in the coming weeks. And next up is Kenny Omega, close to an in-ring return. Kenny Omega would make his AEW Dynamite return this past Wednesday night when he became the stand-in GM on behalf of the absent Tony Khan, with the show closing with an angle that saw the cleaner get laid out by the Elite. Omega's involvement in a physical angle led to fans wondering if he could be close to returning to the ring for the first time since his diverticulitis diagnosis in late 2023 that's ruled him out of action ever since. With that said, it appears that Kenny is still a long way away from actually wrestling a match, something that was reported by Fightful Select prior to this week's episode of Dynamite. This would then be confirmed by Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, who noted that whilst the face-off between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada in particular could lead to something down the line, it won't be happening anytime soon, and he would say, "It's going to be a long time. I mean, he still hasn't had the surgery, and after the surgery, it's going to take months for him to return. I know people who saw Omega and Okada and got really excited. Obviously, the plan is for them to wrestle, but I don't think there is a date imminent, and it's not anytime soon, but it probably will happen by the end of the year maybe. Obviously, Kenny Omega wants it to happen." It seems that fans will have to wait until the end of 2024 at a minimum for Kenny Omega to be fully ready to go once again, which ends all speculation surrounding an all-in London bout against Kazuchika Okada, with him unlikely to return to the Wembley stage until 2025. And next up, a major WWE name has left the company. The recent Vince McMahon sex trafficking lawsuit has caused major shifts in the WWE landscape, leading to a complete reshuffle from top to bottom in the company's corporate structure. It would recently be revealed by a front office sports report that Chief Operating Officer Brad Blum was the person referenced as Corporate Officer Number 2 in the lawsuit filed by former employee Janelle Grant, this alongside Corporate Officer Number 1, who was revealed to be Nick Khan, with both men said to have been aware of the ongoing situation. According to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Blum has now resigned from his position of WWE COO, ending his 18-year run with the company, and Dave would note, Chief Operating Officer Brad Blum tendered his resignation on 5/1. We don't know more details past this was his own decision and nobody forced him out. He, along with Nick Khan and Paul Levesque, were considered the 3 most powerful officers in WWE. It's currently unclear as to why Blum actually decided to step away from WWE and if it's in relation to his reference in the aforementioned lawsuit. With that said, Barry clearly had an important role in the company, with his WWE corporate bio reading as follows. Brad Blum is Chief Officer for WWE, part of TKO Holdings Group. Throughout his tenure at WWE, Blum has been a critical, strategic, and operational leader, ensuring both the development and execution of WWE's strategic initiatives, resulting in continuous record growth for the company. Blum began his tenure at WWE in 2006, serving as Chief of Staff for more than a decade, while also serving in various leadership roles, most recently taking responsibility for WWE's operations in early 2020. As COO, Blum reports to Nick Khan and currently oversees corporate strategy, marketing, corporate communications, creative services, IT and technology, insights and analytics, real estate and facilities, and corporate travel. Next up has a major WWE Backlash surprise just been leaked. WWE head to Lyon, France tomorrow for the first ever premium live event held in the European country, a show that will see 2 matches involving the Bloodline. Speaking of the Bloodline, reports would recently emerge revealing that former MLW World Heavyweight Champion Jacob Fatu had signed a contract with WWE, leading to speculation that he's set to get involved in the ongoing Anoa'i family saga. According to PW Insider, Jacob Fatu was actually seen at the WWE headquarters last week alongside Bloodline members Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, a further sign of potential things to come in the near future, maybe as soon as Backlash. Whilst we don't know when Fatu shows up on television, we do have reason to believe that a former WWE champion is set to make a surprise appearance tomorrow night. A photo of John Cena alongside a fan would recently appear online, a photo that was taken in Nice, France, a city 5 hours south of tomorrow's big event. A similar situation would occur last year, back when Money in the Bank was held in London, with a John Cena sighting ultimately leading to a return at the show, so it looks likely that we'll see the same thing happen at Backlash. I wonder if he'll make a false promise of a WrestleMania in France this time around though. And next, this top AEW star is ready to return to the ring. Whilst his brother Matt would recently leave the company, Jeff Hardy remains part of the active All Elite Wrestling roster after his contract was extended by the company due to time missed with injury and legal matters. This meant that the 2 brothers' contracts ended at separate times, although many expect Jeff to follow his Hardy Boys teammate out of the door when the time comes. With that said, we now have an update on Jeff's in-ring status after he recently suffered a broken nose during a match with Sammy Guevara. According to Matt Hardy on his Extreme Life podcast, Jeff is once again cleared for action following the incident, meaning the clock is ticking on his contract once again, and Matt would say, I can let you know this, Jeff had been to his doctor and seen the AEW doctor, and as of right now, as of a couple of days ago, he is officially cleared. He is cleared to wrestle and he could be competing, I guess soon. He could be competing any day now. There is your breaking news. Jeff Hardy is cleared after getting his nose broken and his sinuses smashed. Fightful would recently reveal that Jeff's AEW contract will come to an end in June, and it'll be interesting to see where his future lies and if he'll return to AEW television before then in a singles capacity. And finally, a former world champion has signed a brand new contract with WWE. At the beginning of the year, many WWE contracts were set to come to an end at some point in 2024, this after a number of stars were tied down to new 5-year deals in 2019 in response to the launch of All Elite Wrestling. Over the past few days and weeks, we've seen the likes of Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest announce that they've now extended their deals beyond 2024, with WWE yet again locking down another key name. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Seth Rollins has now put pen to paper on a brand new big money multi-year contract following negotiations over the past few weeks. Seth's contract was initially set to expire in June. The report reveals that whilst there was big interest in Rollins from outside WWE, presumably AEW, it's unclear if there was any actual offers on the table. The news could be a big indicator of what the future holds for Seth's real-life wife, Becky Lynch, who too has a deal that comes to an end in June, and I get the feeling that the couple are more likely to prefer to remain in the same company going forward. But what do you make of WWE's newest major contract, and do you think Becky Lynch will be next? Let me know in the comments down below.